finally we've got we've got that happening, and so I think the city's just starting to get a little cocky. We're starting to feel pretty good. We're feeling pretty positive.
Any things that you've seen in other cities that you think we are missing that we can start looking towards?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I want to focus on. I'd like to see more investment capital here.
Okay.
We recruited Code Cubit to launch Mistral Ventures, which he did here, and he's done a great job with
Traveled
that.
around the world.
Traveled around, yeah.
On his boat.
He did, yeah. He was great, and I called him when he was on a beach in Greece, and I said, "My name is Bruce. How would you like to come to Ottawa and start a new fund?" He said, "Who the hell are you? And where's Ottawa?" But it was good, and he's got that fund up to about $20 million, I think, and he's starting to think about fund two. Made some great investments already, and one of the things that he's done, which is really exciting, is he's pulled together some of the elite business people in Ottawa who knew about each other but weren't sort of necessarily working together, and now they meet on a regular basis. And when you get that brain trust together, good things start to happen.
Oh, that's excellent. When did they start meeting?
Well, I think it's sort of the day after Code show up, he would talk to one of them, and then it's just like building one by one. So I think he's got a dozen what he calls fellows in his group right now. These are guys like Rob Ash and Brian O'Higgins and guys of that ilk, really brilliant guys who've made a lot of money and who are now starting to take that attitude of paying it forward. And what can I do to help the next generation of companies?
And so we're seeing great things. All right, we'll take one quick break and just talk for a few more minutes in a bit with Bruce. We're going to listen to one more song from Jack Pine and the Fire. This song's called Mountain Climber. We have no Don and Jen from Foodie Prince this week because they're preparing for Valentine's Day. I don't know what that is, but there's something called Valentine's Day coming up. So we'll be right back in just a moment.
Tallest mountain, the horizon let me see. My intention upon leaving was to find out what I'd be. Questions without answers, answers without cause. I knew that there'd be knowledge gained and inhibitions lost.
Thank you so much, Jack Pine and Fire. Of course, catch them this weekend at Sex in the City and then next week at Megafono. So one thing I really love about Invest Ottawa that you see regularly is their event calendar online. So investottawa.ca is their website. Their calendar, anything you want, you basically pick up a master's degree just from coming to classes here on a day-by-day basis. So everything ranging from insurance, starting a new company with insurance, accounting, how to run QuickBooks, how to build a brand. I think there was one on maybe language trainer, how to talk to.
There was one.
Services.
There was one 2 days ago, 7 o'clock, from 7 till 9, on viral marketing, and I sat in on that.
Wow.
I thought
who taught that one?
Jordan. And it was, I thought that's pretty bold to say, hey, I'm going to create this viral thing. But I'll tell you, this guy had credibility up the wazoo.
Yeah.
Some of the ideas he had were staggering.
Well, you look at some of the things that have gone viral and how it impacts businesses.
But he was talking about how to do it strategically, how to use the APIs that exist in a social network to do the back-end connections rather than trying to use the forward-facing stuff, which is always changing.
Yeah.
So it was it was a scientific presentation. But it was free. There were 75 people that signed up and about 45 that showed up. It was standing room only. Great conversations, and the people in the room got to know each other. Yeah. But that's, so you talk about, so we do have the regularly scheduled stuff during the day. We're going to start doing more stuff at night. Things like, Rob Rose, who is the former chief strategy officer at Cognos, is just retired.
Oh, wow.
One of the smartest guys I know, and I was talking to him the other day, and he said, what can I do to help?
Really?
And I said, what we could do is we could do a fireside chat talking about big data, because that's what Cognos was all about. It's a big deal these days. So we want to do a lot more of that kind of thing. But you're right. If you go on our website, investottawa.ca/community calendar, you can see all of the events that anybody is doing, and not just us. But if you guys are having an event, and you can post it on that calendar, And we want that to be that one place that you can go and see what's going on from a business point of view. And there's usually 3 or 4 events a day.
It's getting so much.
Wow.
And the community here is just growing. Like, you have the Ottawa marketing meetups. I see a lot of photos from the design. So basically anything you consume. Fuck Up Nights is amazing from Jason McConnell.
Yeah.
And so that's growing. So there's just great stuff there. I wanted to ask you about a couple of weeks ago, you had the hub crawl. So can you tell us a bit about the hub crawl, what that entailed throughout the day? And it ended, of course, with startup drinks at the Albion Rooms.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was really sort of Jason Daly and Startup Canada that kind of pulled that together. And it was a super idea. One of the things we've talked about as a community, I heard somebody say, we should make sure that all the entrepreneurs understand what's available to them. My reaction to that is that's going to be impossible.
Yeah.
There's just no way you can communicate that much information to that many busy people. So the important thing is that we know what each other's doing so that we can direct them to the places that they want to be. So we sat down here recently with the hub at University of Ottawa and the hub on Bank Street, 1125 at Carleton, the Code Factory, Algonquin College, and we said, look, are we going to be competitors or are we going to be collaborators? And we agreed to be collaborators.
That's great.
So now the idea is, if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I got this great, social idea that I want to develop in some software thing, I'm going to say, you know what, you're better off with Vinod over at the hub. I think they can give you better help than I can. And just yesterday, I had a company say, we got a company from Montreal wants to move here. They don't need any services. They just want some space. And I said, well, you should go and see Ian Graham at the Code Factory because he's got fantastic ability to do that kind of thing. So this is, how do we support each other? How do we understand what's available in the ecosystem and point people at the right thing? The Lead to Win program that Dr. Tony Belletti's been running at Carleton for years is a rock-solid program, and that may be a better program for some people than programs that we offer here. So I need to know what it is so I can push people to the places that they're going to get the best help. We had one of the companies we talked about a minute ago, Bid Access. They had a chance to get into Y Combinator in California, and somebody came to me and said, why are you recommending that Ottawa companies go to California? And I said, I'm not. I'm recommending they get the best possible help on the planet. And for these guys at this time, that's where they can get the best possible help. Yeah. So they went down there.
It's not easy to get in there, too.
It is not. It is not. I mean, that is like the premier incubator in North America. And so they got down, they ran through the program. Now they got some people in California, sure, but their main operations are up here, and this is where they're doing the hiring and creating the jobs. So it's a perfect scenario.
As long as the jobs stay in our own backyard, perfect. Right?
Exactly right.
And are you? Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, what about the investment part of it? How do, say somebody has a startup company, they're coming around. How do they go about trying to get investors? I mean, I'm picturing something like the Shark Tank, where they're pitching their idea, and the bigwigs are deciding whether to throw money at them or not.
Yeah, we've had a couple people actually do the Dragon's Den thing. Nick May was on Dragon's Den; he got a deal done. That is one of the challenges. So we talked a minute ago about some of the things I'd like to improve. Having more capital here is one of those things. But the Capital Angel Network meets once a month. They've got a bunch of people that they make joint investments. We try and help them find great companies.
Okay.
The reality is most companies shouldn't get venture capital. I mean, it's like the top 1 or 2%. And we talk to a lot of entrepreneurs that say, you know what, I have an idea. I'm going to raise $10 million and make my idea happen. And we're going to say, that will never happen. Not just here, that'll never happen anywhere. Unless you've done it 10 times before and all the investors are buddies of yours. But, the best thing for most entrepreneurs to do is find a business that you can bootstrap. Where you can get product into the market soon enough, you can actually start making sales. Yeah. And these days with software companies, Tattoo Hero was a startup weekend. They right. On Friday they met, and on Sunday they had a product idea. Yep. Then they started getting some sales, and away they went. Mm-hmm. Right, so you can do that these days. You can work nights and weekends. Nearest down here, they're building a great product. These are guys who work all day, and then they show up here at 6 o'clock at night, work till midnight. They've been doing that for about a year, and they're just ready to release their product now.
And for any
eventually they can retire from that day job and keep working their dream job.
Well, that's the other thing to remember is before I came here, I was doing mergers and acquisitions on the sell side, and what I used to see was what happens when the company is sold. Mm-hmm. And when you've got venture capitalists, guess where the money goes? Right? Not to the owners, the founders. The venture capitalists get most of the sales. So if you can bootstrap the company and keep more of that equity for yourself, when you do have some exit, good news for you.
Yeah, well, it's great to use other people's money to make money, but you got to pay it back eventually.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And they'll learn that what's coming here. Congratulations, the mayor last year put aside a 10% increase. So not many services or places in Ottawa that will get such a big raise. But you're doing such great work that
we're very
compelled to get that money.
You're right. A lot of city services are being cut, and he feels. But I'll tell you what. I mean, we had conversations around what's he going to get for it. You know,
exactly.
And
that's the job.
Before he promised, that's the job. Yeah. Before he promised that, I said, look, I can with a high degree of certainty say that we can deliver 1,200 new jobs with that new $370,000.
Yeah, and that's fantastic to be able to say.
Yeah, and these are good paying jobs. Jobs that are going to be in Ottawa for a long time, and these people are paying taxes and income taxes and buying stuff.
And like I said, those jobs snowball into other jobs, right? I mean, people need places to live, more housing, construction, and
exactly
it goes on and on and on.
That's why I have to shout out to the regional group and to Minto. They are partners of ours. They give us a fair bit of money just to do this because they know, first of all, it's the right thing to do. Yeah. But second of all, eventually, when 1,200 people need houses, they're going to build them.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. I wish more people would know of that as well. But you're doing tremendous work, and it's such an honor to be here with you today. Anything else that you can give us to look forward to in the next maybe 1 or 2 years that we might not know? Oh, the slides that you're talking about.
Yes, that's right.
So not 1 or 2 years, 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you that question, but
we like to look ahead.
We'll start with that one.
So effective next week on our website, investottawa.ca/yottawa. There will be a 40 megabyte file with some 80 PowerPoint slides talking about some things in Ottawa that 90% of the people here don't know. The fact that our conference center here, the Shaw Center, was voted the second best conference center in the world recently.
Oh, wow.
The fact that we've got more scientists and engineers than any city in Canada, and out of 316 American cities, from a concentration of scientists and engineers, number 2 behind San Jose.
Wow.
So we've got all of this stuff here. And I gave the presentation today at noon, and every time I give the presentation, I ask 2 questions. I say, did you learn something about your city you didn't already know? And every time people say yes. And I say, are you more proud of your city now than you were 9 minutes ago? Because that's how long it takes to give the presentation. Yeah. Everybody says yes. So I really encourage your listeners to have a look at it. investottawa.ca/yottawa. It's a 40 megabyte download, and
we'll be checking it out.
And I think you get a free beaver tail if you bring it back home for Thanksgiving or Christmas and do the presentation to your family and friends.
That's
right.
An autographed beaver tail.
You send it out to high schools and everything like that.
Exactly right.
Nice. All right. So I guess. And open data, I just want to ask, are we seeing a lot more open data flow through to Invest Ottawa? So
we are. Yeah, and the City of Ottawa is being very innovative. The mayor has put a lot of pressure on his staff to be more open and to think of innovative ways of doing things. We're hopefully going to be seeing a program where the city is going to be sort of a first customer for some new technologies. So lots of cool things coming up.
And hopefully the government's first as well.
So I'd love to see the federal government open up their procurement. They've got a program now called the Built in Canada program. It's not too bad, but it's a fraction of what it could be.
And that's what Startup Day was, I guess, trying to get the entrepreneurs with the government. And hopefully we can see better with that. It's right in our backyard, and you're going to be the one that gets it done. Anyways, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bruce.
Any major plans for this weekend?
I don't know. You'd have to ask my wife.
There you go.
she has
Everyone's got another boss somewhere, right?
All right, well, I'll try to rhyme off some stuff that might pique your interest.
Good.
Yeah.
Tonight, there's going to a little Arrested Development trivia at Raw Sugar. That's always fun. Across the pond in Gatineau, you have Festa beers, so you have a lot of. If you've had a lot of our local Ottawa beers, maybe go to Gatineau and try some others. Hoppy Quebec beers, 75 and above IPA. I can only imagine. Winterlude starts, so you get the Winterlude Triathlon, which will be fun. First year ever for that obstacle course at Lansdowne, so 25 obstacles. That'll be fun.
Sounds like a ride.
That'll be a lot of fun. You got the kilt skate Saturday morning.
Yeah.
9 a.m. You get
to see who's regimental.
That's what you have to do. You got Death from Above 1979, an awesome band playing at Bronson Center. We need a better concert theater. Get somebody around here to.
Yeah, we're on it.
Metropolis or something like that. Also, Michelin Masson, who runs the helpottawafurkids.com.
Yep.
They do an online option for 100% goes towards animal shelters, fosters local rescues. Goes online, I think, in a couple of days.
Yeah, usually in first week of February.
Raise over $10,000 for these local animals. There's 130 amazing items. I donated a $50 gift card to your choice of a locally owned company, only